You don't need a lot of really expensive tools to make great sourdough bread at home. And after making over 10,000 loaves, I've learned what you really need and what's just a waste of money. Let me show you. Move over, Dutch oven, because you don't need that to bake your sourdough bread. And hello, Loaf Pan. I love baking my sourdough bread in a loaf pan. It turns out beautifully. It's the perfect size for the toaster and also for sandwiches. So you can definitely bake your sourdough bread in a loaf pan, but here's the trick. You actually need 2 loaf pans because we're gonna put another one on top to make a lid when we're baking our sourdough bread. This lid is gonna trap the steam, just like the lid on your Dutch oven. And bonus points here, I happen to love these parchment paper liners because they make cleanup so easy. So if you have a loaf pan and not a Dutch oven, go ahead and bake your sourdough bread in your loaf pan. A really sharp razor blade is a must-have when you're making sourdough bread. Now you're gonna use this to score your dough. A cheap, not sharp blade or a knife is not gonna slice through your dough nice and clean. What's gonna happen is that it's gonna get caught up and you're gonna be like sawing on your bread, and that could really affect the way that your bread bakes. So a sharp razor blade is really important. Now, this is my bread lawn. You just put the razor blade right on it. I happen to really like this bread lawn because it's inexpensive and it works great. I think it's like under $10. It works great, but the most important part of this is the really sharp blade. So try not to use a knife if that's all that you have. Invest in one of these inexpensive, really sharp razor blades because you're definitely gonna need it to score your bread. And trust me, it makes a big difference. I change my razor out, I don't know, maybe every 10 loaves. So keep that in mind. The razor blades are super inexpensive. And I'm actually gonna show you how this works right now. I have some dough here. This has been in my refrigerator, cold proofing. I'm gonna actually put it in the loaf pan and show you how I bake in the loaf pan. I've got my loaf pan liner right here. I'm leaving it in my loaf pan. So I'm gonna turn this out and then I'm just gonna put it in my loaf pan. There you go. Now I've got my really sharp razor blade on my bread lawn. If you don't have the bread lawn, you can just hold the razor blade. And I'm gonna give this one quick, confident score. I'm gonna score it from the top of the loaf to the bottom, right on the surface. I'm gonna hold my blade at an angle. I'm gonna be quick and confident, and I'm gonna score about 1/2 inch deep. All right, here we go. And do you see how easily that sliced through the dough? Like butter, I mean, honestly, and that's because it's really good and sharp. Now I'm gonna come back through one more time. I'm turning my blade at even more of an angle, and I'm gonna score just along the surface of the dough. I'm kind of creating a little bit of a flap, and this is just gonna help me to get a beautiful ear. Now, when I'm ready to bake this, let me show you how I do that in my loaf pan. All right, so I've scored my loaf. I've got my other loaf pan here. And real quick, before I put this in the oven, I'm gonna take my water bottle. I'm gonna give it a quick spray. This is gonna just help generate additional steam when this is in the oven. I'm gonna put this right on the top, and then I'm gonna put it in the oven and bake it. And that takes me to my next tool, a spray bottle. Using a little bit of water on your hands when you're working with your dough is gonna help so the dough doesn't stick. And you don't need to use a bunch of flour and add a bunch more flour to your dough. When I'm working with my dough on the counter, I'll spray my counter a little bit, and there you go. The dough will not stick to the counter and it doesn't stick to your hands. This is one of the tools I use every single day in my bakery. A spray bottle is a must-have if you're making sourdough. And just like I showed you in the previous tip, if you're gonna bake your sourdough bread in a loaf pan, even if you're baking it in a Dutch oven, a quick spray with water on the top of the dough before you put the lid on and bake it will help generate additional steam, and it'll also help you get those little sourdough blisters all over the crust that we love. Another must-have item is a container with straight sides that's clear. Now, I love this container. It's inexpensive. It has a lid, which makes it really easy. There you go. And what I love about this container is that once my dough is all mixed up, I'm done with all my stretch and folds, and I'm gonna start my bulk fermentation, I'll put my dough in this container. And what's great about it is that it's clear, so I can see really easily how much my dough has risen. When I put it in the container, I'll usually use a dry erase marker, but you don't have to because the container has lines on it. And I'll just make a line for whatever height the dough is currently at. This way I know how much it's risen. So when it's here, it's doubled in size and it's ready to go. If you're using a regular bowl that doesn't have straight sides, Most bowls are smaller on the bottom and then they widen up as they go. That makes it really hard to see how much your dough has actually risen. So an inexpensive container like this, bonus, comes with a lid, is a really easy way to see how much your dough has risen so you'll know when bulk fermentation is done. This next tool is probably something you weren't expecting to see on the list. It's a really inexpensive seed heating mat. When the winter time comes and it cools off, it can take a really long time, not only for your starter to become active, but also for your dough to bulk ferment. So temperature makes a huge difference in your dough. And one of the ways I found to combat that in the wintertime is with this cheap, inexpensive seed heating mat. You just plug the sucker in, I set it for 82, 83 degrees, put my dough on it, and it really helps to speed up the bulk fermentation. The same thing with my starter. I like to put my starter on this at night after I fed it, and when I wake up in the morning, it's active, it's at peak, it's nice and bubbly. So sourdough starter and sourdough dough does not like to be cold, and it will take forever for your dough to bulk ferment when it's cold. So the inexpensive seed heating mat is a great way to speed the process up. It's a gentle heat, it won't overdo it, and it works great. If you like this video, go ahead and hit the like and subscribe button. It really helps other bakers to find my channel. And if you're looking for more step-by-step sourdough videos where I literally show you the entire process start to finish, you'll find them all on my channel, along with some really delicious sourdough recipes. I ditched my regular pot holders and I switched to these long oven gloves. Now listen, they're not cute, but they protect my arms so well. I used to have a lot of burn marks up and down my arms because I would reach into the oven using my pot holders to take the lid off my Dutch oven, and I would always burn myself on the way out, no matter how careful I tried to be. But with these, they protect my arms really, really well. They work fantastic. I love them so much. I actually gifted them to a bunch of people in my family for Christmas. They just work great, and they're protecting my arms. We're baking at such high temperatures that it really is easy to burn yourself. Those Dutch ovens are really heavy and can be very hot. So long oven gloves like this are one of those kitchen tools that I use every single time I make sourdough. I used to be one of those bakers that used my cups and teaspoons for everything, and if I saw a recipe that required me to have a scale and weigh my ingredients, well, I didn't make that recipe. But I have come a long way since then, and a digital scale is a must-have sourdough item, but not just any digital scale. The first one I got was a complete waste of money because it couldn't handle the weight capacity that I needed. So you want to make sure that whatever digital scale you get can handle at least 2 pounds, because my basic sourdough recipe is 2 pounds. So you're going to be making almost 2 pounds of bread. So look for one that can go all the way up to about 10 pounds. That way you won't have all your ingredients in your bowl on your scale, and then the scale will just stop working because you've exceeded the weight capacity. Trust me, that is no fun, and you have to start over. So a digital scale is super important if you want to make consistent bread. When we're talking about sourdough and the hydration level, which is just how much water is in your recipe, there's a big difference between a hydration level that's 70% and one that's 75%. And the big difference is in how your bread dough is going to feel. Well, if you're not weighing out your water, you could end up with 75 or even 80% hydration, which is going to give you a sticky and harder to handle dough. So having a digital scale that can handle the weight capacity that you need is a game changer and a must-have for sourdough. I happen to love this one because it's small and compact. It doesn't take up a ton of room, but it has a huge weight capacity. A dough scraper is going to be your best friend in the kitchen. Now, it's not something that you have to have, but it is something that once you have it, you'll wonder, how did I ever make bread without it? So here's my dough scraper. I love this one because it's inexpensive. I loved the curved top here. That makes it easy to hold in my hand. Some of the ones with straighter edges can be hard to hold in your hand. And then of course, when I'm using my dough scraper, this is a great way to pre-shape and shape your dough. Also, the flat edge makes it so that you can actually portion your dough and divide it in half. And I don't know about you, but when I'm making dough on my kitchen counter, I do have a metal one of these, but I feel like it might scrape my counter. So I like the plastic one just because I feel like it's a little bit safer to use on my kitchen counter. And of course, I always get my dough scraper wet with just a quick spray of water so that it doesn't stick to the dough. So super easy way to pre-shape and final shape your dough is using your dough scraper here makes the entire process easy, especially if your dough happens to be a little bit sticky for whatever reason. The dough will definitely stick to your hands, and so using the dough scraper makes it a lot easier to work with sticky dough. Now this dough is not that sticky today, but I've definitely had sticky dough, probably just like you. It happens to all of us, but you're just going to be using your dough scraper, and it makes the process so much easier. This is my heat shield, also known as an extra cookie sheet. And what I do with this is you're going to want to put this in your oven on the rack below the rack that your Dutch oven is sitting on. And the reason why we do this is that this will deflect the heat. It's going to keep the bottom of your bread from getting too brown and burnt. And that happens to a lot of people who are baking sourdough bread in a Dutch oven. But I have found this simple hack of just putting the cookie sheet on the rack below the rack that your Dutch oven is on can really help prevent burning the bottom of your bread. Now, let's face it, we did not spend 2 days making sourdough bread to burn it, and that happens to a lot of people. So put the cookie sheet below the rack your Dutch oven is on. You could also use a pizza stone or a baking steel if you have that, but I find that a cookie sheet is just as easy to just slide right in there, and then you don't have any more burnt bottoms. Now, the last and probably the most important tool that you need for sourdough is a high protein bread flour. Now, I know you might be thinking, Heather, bread flour is not a tool. It is a tool, and it's actually probably the most important one that we have. Now, this is King Arthur high protein organic bread flour. It's a 12.7% protein content. If you want to compare that to their all-purpose flour, that is an 11.7% protein content. Now, what does all of this mean, and do you have to use King Arthur? You don't have to use King Arthur, but I highly recommend that you use a bread flour, whatever brand you prefer. I love the Central Milling organic high mountain flour, but that can be a little bit more difficult to find in stores, and I didn't want to haul a 50-pound bag of flour up here to show you, but both of these are great flours. I've even used like the basic store brand bread flour, and that one works great too. Now, why do you want to use a high protein bread flour, especially if you're a beginner? Because you're going to have stronger gluten. That means that your dough is going to be easier to handle. It's going to absorb the water a little bit easier, so you won't have a soupy dough. It's going to hold together and be a stronger dough. Also, a higher protein bread flour is going to stand up to that long bulk fermentation process, and then the cold ferment where we put our dough in the refrigerator. The process of making sourdough is a long one, and you need a high protein flour that can stand that test of time and really hold up to the long process of making sourdough without breaking down. So if you are using a high protein bread flour, you're going to find that your dough is easier to handle and that you get a better, taller loaf. So this is probably my #1 tip for sourdough beginners. Do not try an all-purpose flour. Instead, stick with a high protein bread flour. And then the other little bonus here is that I know a lot of people want to add fancy grains to their bread, and I get it. I love spelt, einkorn, kamut, rye, all of those grains are fantastic. But if you're a new baker, just stick with the high protein bread flour until you really get the process down, and then you can move on and add some fancier grains. And there you have it, all of my top 10 favorite sourdough tools that you really need. And that bread we made in the loaf pan, look at how beautiful it turned out. I'm gonna go ahead and slice into it and show you what it looks like, because I know you wanna see the inside. You can hear that crispy crust. There you go, beautiful loaf of sourdough bread that we made in our loaf pan. Download my free sourdough beginner's guide. It's linked below in the description, and I promise it's gonna help you avoid so much frustration. And then I recently have developed 10 little tiny changes that massively improved my sourdough. You should absolutely watch that video. I know it will help you too, so take a look at it here.